You are not poor because of your circumstances. You don't need to be born with a silver spoon in your mouth to become wealthy. You are not poor because of your background or where you went to school. Why is it that while some people have more than they know what to do with, others can't even make ends meet? So today we're going to look at 6 points from Bob Proctor's book, The Unseen Blueprint, to help you identify any negative financial blueprints you might have, as well as show you how to create a new one that will help you become wealthy. Well, Bob Proctor in his book, The Unseen Blueprint, reveals that the reason most people remain poor is because they have a money blueprint inside their subconscious mind that keeps them from getting rich. Now, negative self-talk is when we say things like, "I'm not good enough," or "I'm too afraid to try." On the other hand, positive self-talk is when we say things like, "I am capable," or "This is exciting." This doesn't mean denying reality and saying things like, "Everything is amazing," and "I love my life," when clearly they're not. Instead, it means acknowledging the negative thoughts that run through your head and actively choosing to replace them with positive, empowering statements. Start by appreciating the money you do have in your wallet right now. Our environments speak volumes about who we are and what we believe. After all, the things we surround ourselves with are a reflection of our tastes, interests, and values. That's why Bob Proctor urges us to be mindful of what we allow into our lives, because it can either support our dreams or crush them. Or if you view yourself as a lazy procrastinator, then you'll probably find yourself constantly missing deadlines and failing to reach your goals. It only becomes power when we put it into action. That's why the final step to changing your money blueprint is taking action towards your financial goals. Don't just sit around waiting for things to happen. Be proactive in creating the life you want. That's why it's essential to cultivate a strong sense of self-worth that is not tied to external factors like money. Maybe it's time to invest in yourself by buying a course or hiring a coach. Whatever it is, don't let another day go by without taking action towards your goals. Because remember, your blueprint only becomes real when you put it into action. This can be difficult, especially in a society that places so much emphasis on material possessions and financial status. But by practicing gratitude for what you already have and focusing on your personal growth, you can start to build a positive self-image that will support your financial success. Then think of all the skills and talents that you possess that can help you earn more income. Or someone who wants to improve their grades but spends all their time hanging out with failing students. We can apply this same principle to our finances by being conscious of the kind of financial environment we create for ourselves. This means cutting out anything that promotes scarcity and lack, such as magazines that talk about how women can never make as much money as men, and replacing it with books, podcasts, and music that promote wealth and prosperity. It also means spending less time with people who complain about money and investing in relationships with those who have a positive, abundant mindset when it comes to finances. Remember, we become the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. So if you want to change your financial blueprint, you need to change the environment you're keeping yourself in. Finally, focus on the progress you're making toward your goals, no matter how small it may be. Even if it's just $5 or $10, celebrate it. Let yourself be proud that you're moving in the right direction. For example, instead of saying, "I'm so disorganized," you could say, "I am capable of creating order in my life." By doing this consistently over time, you can start to shift your money blueprint from one of scarcity and lack to one of abundance and prosperity. And according to Bob Proctor, our subconscious minds take whatever we tell ourselves and turn it into a blueprint for our future. Now, this might seem like a strange question, but Bob Proctor believes that our self-image plays a crucial role in determining our financial success. You see, we all have an idea of who we are, whether we consciously choose those beliefs or not. And this self-image dictates the kind of opportunities we allow into our lives. And these blueprints are so sneaky that we often don't even realize we have them. Maybe you have something like, "It's impossible to get things done on time," or "I always wait till the very last minute to do my work." And sure enough, when it comes time to finish that project, you find yourself glued to the couch, watching TV, instead of working on the task at hand. That's why your environment has such a huge impact on how much money you make, because what you're surrounded by seeps into your mind, takes root, and grows into beliefs that dictate your actions, whether you're aware of it or not. Your focus dictates where you put your attention. And Bob Proctor tells us that if we keep our eyes on what we don't want, we'll never have it. When we fixate on what we don't have, our minds become cluttered with images of lack, which eventually manifest as financial problems. This is why you should be careful of constantly complaining about being broke or having bad money habits. The more you dwell on these things, the more real they feel. And before you know it, you've created a money blueprint that keeps you trapped in poverty. Most importantly, you are not poor because of your race or gender. So then why do so many people struggle financially? In essence, a blueprint is a plan or design. Now, this can be the design for building a house, but it can also be the design for your life, especially when it comes to things like relationships, career, and finances. In fact, everything in your life is a reflection of your money blueprint, which means if you want to change your financial situation, you must change your blueprint. But here's the good news. You can change your money blueprint for the better. If your parents were constantly arguing about money, or you grew up hearing them say things like, "We're broke," or "It's impossible to make money," then it makes sense that you would adopt those same beliefs about money. This is why you and just listen to one self-improvement podcast and expect to transform your finances overnight? Because if you do, you're just casting a seed into an untended garden. And Bob Proctor says that the greatest gardener in the world can't grow anything worthwhile there. Basically, you and just listen to a few positive affirmations, while you re-stuck in a negative money blueprint. It's like trying to water a tiny seedling with a fire hose. There's just too much conflicting energy. Point number 1. Where did your money blueprint come from? First off, let's define what a blueprint is. Now, as we mentioned earlier, our blueprints are often formed without us realizing it, and they tend to come from our childhood environment. Think about it. That's why point number 1 is all about becoming aware of where your money blueprint came from, so you can break free from its grip. Point number 2, what are you telling yourself? See, we have 2 types of self-talk, positive and negative. For example, if you're someone who struggles with procrastination, then you probably have a blueprint that supports that behavior. Now, the good news is that you can break this pattern by consciously overriding your negative self-talk with positive self-talk. Point number 3, are you focusing on the right things? Instead, you need to train yourself to focus on the things you do have, no matter how small they may seem. Point number 4, what is your environment saying about you? Take, for example, the person who wants to lose weight but surrounds themselves with junk food. Point number 5, who do you think you are? For example, if you see yourself as someone who is unlucky in love, then you're likely to attract the kind of relationships that reinforce that belief. And finally, point number 6, what actions are you taking? Remember, knowledge by itself is not power. This could mean picking up that phone and calling a potential client, or finally finishing that side hustle you've been putting off. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. As always, thanks for watching.